Now that we're present, I'll start to begin to share my own experience of meditating in daily life. Very interesting. I went to the Sithead's website and there I saw there was a number of interviews with different teachers. Very interesting. It was nice to listen to. I hadn't listened to anything from Joseph Goldstein for a long time. Yeah, he still sounds the same, which is wonderful. And in this interview with Joseph, he was asked about, is it possible to develop deep practice in daily life, deeper paths? Yeah. And his response was that the Buddha had already talked about this quite clearly. And he mentioned the way, as long as you're practicing the Noble Eightfold Path, then the practice is possible. But I'd like to take what was said there a lot deeper into how I've transitioned from retreat meditation, intensive mahasi, into a very relaxed, joyful practice in daily life. In terms of the Noble Eightfold Path, we've got the 8 factors. The first 2 can fit into the wisdom group, which is known as panya. And the wisdom group is also tied into the development of understanding and insight. Yeah. And so that's right for you and right intention. Yeah. The next 3 factors are tied into the sila group, which is morality, or what I translate as harmony, because morality is about bringing harmony to the heart, to the mind, and bringing harmony to everything we think, say, and do. So it's a path of harmonizing. Yeah. That's right speech, right action, right livelihood. The last 3 factors are the samadhi group. They're associated with our seated practice. Yeah. In particular, I find it's helpful in daily life to have that seated practice devoted to a samatha vipassana-based practice, with samatha as the foundation. And we'll talk about that soon, why I find that so useful. Yeah. And that's right effort, right effort, right mindfulness, right unification or samadhi. Yeah, the unification. Yeah. And so we could break down these different factors, but it's going to be more useful to divide these into 3 groups to understand what is meant by meditating in daily life. Yeah. So we have panya, sila, samadhi. So panya, the development of insight into wisdom. Sila, morality that leads to harmony. And samadhi, it's the development of that tranquility and calm necessary for insight. Yeah. So the clarification of awareness, so we can actually see what's going on. And this clarification of awareness, or the process of developing that calm and tranquility, also has disturbances. And this is what's traditionally known as hindrances. Anything that hinders the development of calm and tranquility is the fuel for insight. It's to be celebrated. So in MIDL, the 5 traditional hindrances were separated into 16. And these 16 are how we experience these hindrances from gross to subtle. Yeah, wonderful. So we have those 3 groups. We have the wisdom group. Yeah. We have morality group. And then we have the samatha, let's just say samatha group, the samadhi group, but based on samatha foundation. Okay. When we come into the meditation practice, or I know this is what happened for me, I came for one reason. I was suffering. Within my life, I had a lot of anxiety, depression, panic attacks, a lot of anger. That was how I was dealing with it. A lot of control. I avoided things. And then I started training martial arts and I become aggressive. So I avoided things by attacking. And within this here, with coming into the path, I came to the meditation because I wanted to escape from what I was experiencing in my life. If I had come to meditation, I'd heard about all these wonderful states. I don't think there was any internet now then, I'm not sure. I definitely didn't have a computer, but read books by Joseph and various other teachers. And there was kind of this promise of this calm. Yeah. So I thought, oh, well, that's what will happen. When I came to the meditation, I was coming through an immature view, not right view, immature view. And this view was still the correct view, that meditation done in the correct way could lead to a lowering of this suffering and maybe a removal of it altogether. Yeah, so immature right view. And perhaps this is the reason most people come to meditation. If our life is going well, if we have lots of pleasure within our life, then we tend to stay with that, don't we? So usually there's something there. Some people are rare and they come for meditation itself, but usually not. What I found when I came to this is I'd sit down to meditate and I had one thing. I had an absolute mess. Has anyone ever had a messy mind before other than me? Yeah, maybe a few of you. Yeah. Sit down and there's a mess. My awareness was dull and my awareness was restless. There was restlessness and dullness in it. I couldn't see what was going on. Yeah. In approaching the Noble Eightfold Path, to cultivate that view or the expression of that right view, or the view is to change the way, or it informs how we live. It informs how we think, how we speak, how we act. It changes that. Wisdom changes the expression of our mind and heart in daily life. Yeah. But I couldn't develop any wisdom. It was mess. I couldn't develop any samadhi. Calm, had a glimpse of it, yeah, and then spent a long time trying to get back there again. So I couldn't get there. Yeah, I was striving. I was trying. Yeah. So this didn't tell me anything about my life. I could try to stop doing things. Yeah, stop doing these things, but it didn't work. I would stop for a while, grit my teeth, stop, I'm going to stop, and then suddenly I would start up again. What I needed was clarity. And this is the purpose of samatha. And it's also the purpose of your seated meditation practice. The way I see seated meditation is as a controlled environment in which to develop certain mental skills. Yeah, it's controlled or semi-controlled, more controlled than out there raising children and being in relationships and holding down a job. And yeah, I'm sitting on the east coast of New South Wales here in the middle, and people like to drink a lot of alcohol. It's just a really nice place to drink alcohol. So that's what they like to do. So it's easy to get sucked into all of this. So I needed clarity. So how do we develop clarity? Well, we can create an environment in which we withdraw ourselves from the world for a period of time, and we make that determination during this 5 minutes, during this 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever you commit to, take something that's achievable, something that you can do, even if the meditation gets difficult, and then do it. And do that to build up trust within yourself. Don't try to push yourself where you lose trust with yourself. That doesn't lead anywhere good. Commit that time to a mindful presence, to being present to what's here now. Yeah, that's what we do. So that's the purpose of samatha, the development of samatha, and we will develop vipassana insight out of this. So the purpose of samatha for me is to increase the clarity of awareness so we can actually see what's going on, so we can create space within the mind, within the heart, within the body, so we can see what's actually going on, so we can develop some understanding to change the way that we express or the way that we live within our daily life. That so that we can learn what morality actually is, what harmony actually means. Yeah, that's the purpose of insight. I've found the best foundation is this. It's to develop a samatha practice. So that means the development of calm and tranquility based on a momentum of letting go. When I first started practicing samatha, I used to do my attention. So it's like my mind wandered or off, and I'll grab the attention and bring it back. So I use counting methods, I use labeling methods, I use all sorts of methods to bring my attention here, and strong willpower. I could hold my attention on a meditation object. And at times I would block everything out, and then I would have blissful states. And I experienced some jhana as well. Yeah. What I found is my mind started to develop the tendency of blocking things out in my daily life. And I became distant from my friends, from my family. In my workplace, I become really indifferent to other people's suffering. And it's because I was using sheer force of will and concentration. I found when that samadhi released, all the anxiety came back. Yeah, given the right conditions, life's really good at creating conditions for these things. Oh, what do I do with this? That led to understanding a different way. When I practice seated meditation, I need to train the meditation or the skills in meditation in a way that I want my mind to perform in daily life. Can anyone relate to that? What you're training in your seated meditation is not separate from how you relate to things in daily life. And this is on a basis of letting go or momentum of letting go. Yes. So I found I had to let go of control of my mind. And the way to do this is to separate peripheral awareness from the focal point within that awareness, which I refer to as attention. And when you bring that up, have you forgotten it? Have you lost that peripheral awareness of your body? Yeah. Relax back into your body again now. Gentle breaths. Restore that peripheral awareness of your whole body very gently. Notice as you do this, mindfulness establishes. Curiosity in regards to letting go. Your effort is towards letting go and feeling the pleasure of that letting go. The balance in that energy. And smiling into enjoying this presence. Established again. Now relax your attention and allow it to do whatever it wants. And that's what we do. So we relax the attention, hold this peripheral awareness, be aware of the sensate quality of our body, the flow of breathing within our body. Our body is breathing. But the key when we let go of this grip of attention is to find the pleasure in things. We're sharing this space together now. Do you realize how rare this is in this world? How lucky we are? Pretty fortunate. Can you tune into how nice that is? How wonderful it is just to be here? Yeah. The sounds, we're just sitting here, nowhere to go, nothing to do. I can feel my body and let go and relax in my body, and it feels nice. Relax in the mind, it feels good. Feel my body as breath, not breathing in my body as a separate thing, but understanding that breathing isn't something separate from my body. Our body is breath. Our whole body breathes all the time. If it didn't, we'd have bigger problems in developing mindfulness. When you feel that, there's just this gentle, beautiful stretch and relax throughout your body. Can you find the pleasure of that? Ah, oh, it's like a yoga stretch or a massage. It's really, really nice. Stretch and relax. So what we do is we find the pleasure in our body, within our breathing, and through the stages of mindfulness breathing. And I follow the stages in the Satipatthana Sutta or Anapanasati Sutta, laid out by the Buddha all the way. Through this momentum of letting go and the pleasure trail of that, we reach access concentration, we develop jhana. But we develop it through letting go of our interest in the world, not by trying to turn our attention away from the world. This is important. Why is this important? Because this will be the way that our mind will relate to things. Or this will be the way that your mind will relate to things. When the kids knock over the food on the table, or when your favorite chair breaks, or you don't get what you want in life, this will be what your mind relates to. What have you habituated in meditation? Because meditation is a period of sitting down, repeating certain behavior again and again. So what are you cultivating? That's the question I ask myself. I only cultivate one thing now, letting go and the pleasure of that letting go, a momentum of letting go. When we use this framework of developing samatha in this way, it's important to let go of your mind. Why? Because what inclines the mind towards letting go through insight is the understanding of anatta. Anatta is strangely translated as not self, which is just, it works, but it's kind of weird. We kind of hear that, we go, well, what does this mean? What I need to do is suppress the self, so you have the self suppressing the self. Doesn't quite work. But if we understand that the actual, not what anatta is, not self, but what's the experience of not self? Well, the experience is the autonomous nature of something. If I see a cat walk across the room, and then I see it walk back again, and it walks out the door and it comes back again and walks in, I don't think I am the cat. I see the cat as a separate entity, as something that's completely autonomous to me. Yeah. Now, if I think I am the cat, I might grab the cat, try to hold it down. Has anyone ever tried holding a cat down? Hopefully not. Actually, has anyone ever created a beautiful bed for a cat, thinking how much they'll enjoy it, and then they come and lay down beside it? They refuse to go into it until they decide to. This is what the mind is like. If you don't like cats, unfortunately, your mind is like a cat or like a dog. Yeah, like that. So we start to notice, by releasing it, the autonomous nature of the mind, the autonomous nature of the body, autonomous nature of emotions, and of pleasantness and unpleasantness. This is important. I can watch sounds come and go all day, or sights come and go all day, but I still get upset when I kick my toe. It's because Stephen is not being trained in this practice. The mind is. We're teaching the mind of its own autonomous nature, or we're teaching the mind of the autonomous nature of what it identifies with most, this body, these views, these opinions, these feelings, these thoughts, memories, judgments, and most important for meditators, the autonomous nature of attention, of samadhi. You do not own it. Yeah, that's what we're learning. As the mind notices the autonomous nature of things, first it gets scared, It suffers a little bit and then it lets go. So what we do is we use this development of the pleasure of letting go to reward the mind for disenchantment, nibbida, to reward the mind for the letting go of things that it does not control or own. Yeah. Everyone's keeping up with me so far. So we've gone from samatha and we're starting to go in vipassana, because that happens when we're developing that calm and tranquility. Because when I try to develop calm and tranquility, my mind doesn't always agree that's what we're going to do. We're not always on the same page here. Yeah. So what you do is you always sit down developing calm and tranquility. But if your mind shifts into mess, you celebrate, you put on your party hat, you get out the streamers, and you go, wonderful, my mind has shifted into a vipassana phase. Time for insight. Ground awareness in your body. Background awareness. Allow your attention to wander and sit there and just observe its autonomous nature, the autonomous nature of dullness, of restlessness, of thinking, of forgetting your meditating and coming back, the autonomous nature of the whole lot. Just let it go. What better to see that a cat is autonomous to you than just let it run around the room like a crazy thing? Yeah. You just sit there. Your mind will suffer. The unpleasantness that comes up, wonderful. Unpleasant feeling can't hurt you. Who would have known? It's just a feeling. That's the secret. I'll let you in on a secret. Unpleasantness can't hurt you. Yeah. It's just a feeling. It's mind created. It's created by our own mind. We see that and then we soften, relax the effort in our body and our mind. We soften, relax our relationship towards it. So the key when meditating as what I call an anatta meditator, or letting go of control, is to learn what it means, yeah, to find the pleasure in releasing, letting go of things. Yeah, it's to find that pleasure in letting go of things. It's rewarding the mind for letting go. This is the key. Yeah. The key is to teach the mind to let go in samatha, in the development of samadhi. Teach the mind to let go as the expression of insight. Yeah. As that insight develops, you teach the mind to let go. And eventually we'll let go in morality too, in sila. The key is not to be caught up in what you're experiencing. This took me a long time to understand. What you're experiencing is not important. Sometimes you'll have some wonderful experiences, or what you might think are wonderful. Sometimes you'll have ones you don't like. It doesn't matter. The key is to sit down for the movie and watch the movie regardless of what's going on and enjoy the movie. Yeah. Let the whole show just unfold. There's only one thing that you pay attention to, and that is, what's your relationship towards the movie? How are you relating to it? How are you relating to sitting here now? Maybe what I've said, you think, oh, I'll have to remember that. Or what I've said is, he's got no idea what he's talking about. Regardless, what's your relationship to this movie now? What is it? Do you feel attracted towards it? What does that feel to be attracted towards it in your mind, in your body? Are you averse towards this? What does it feel like to be averse towards this in your mind, your body? And I'm talking about the sensate quality, the experience of it, and the feeling, the Vedana attached to that. Are you indifferent to this? Are you just off thinking about, geez, I wish this would Oh, well, that's still aversion, I guess. Just completely ignoring what's being said. I already know what's going on. I don't need to hear this. Yeah. Is there indifference there? Attraction, aversion, indifference. Is there contentment? Is there equanimity? So we have 5 things: attraction, aversion, indifference, contentment, equanimity. That's our path there. How do you develop that? How do you transfer attraction, aversion, indifference into contentment, into equanimity? That's what we're doing, because this creates part of the conditions, the sotapanna, doesn't it, for stream entry? Yeah. Yeah. So we start to see this. So you observe your relationship towards it. You soften, relax into your body, smile into it with your eyes. Smile, always smile into it with your eyes. Sometimes that'll be accessible. Sometimes it's not, because the joy, the happiness that comes in the mind when we smile with our eyes is only accessible when your mind is letting go. If there's letting go is not available, it will cease. The pleasure, when there's letting go available, will be present. Yeah. So we've come in through suffering. We can't observe what's happening in our daily life because of the mess. We're just reacting. We sit down, we develop calm and tranquility. We develop insight on that which disturbs that calm and tranquility. And in the beginning, we get a lot of disturbance. That insight teaches us that the hindrances are not self, anatta, let go. Yeah. We train the mind to let go by giving it pleasure reward for every time it lets go, by finding the pleasure in our body, in our mind. This develops a momentum. When this matures, it turns into wisdom, and you'll find your mind will let go completely. When the mind lets go completely, you actually go into a sila phase. And a sila morality phase is a letting go phase. You may even find you can't even take a samatha object anymore. You may find it becomes more like an open awareness practice. It's aligned with nirvikalpa samadhi, which means objectless unification. Yeah. During this time, the mind is letting go of everything. Just let go of everything. Just sit in that open awareness. Let go of everything. During this sila phase, it's important to take advantage of this letting go in your daily life. That's the time to develop that, bring that mindful presence in your body, and start to intentionally following and experiencing some weaker habitual patterns in the beginning while you're learning. Yeah. So that means you're overeating, or yeah, maybe you're snapping in some words, you're a bit sharp in your language and things. Instead of trying to suppress that in a safe situation, allow it to go, but follow that with clear comprehension. At first, you'll feel like you're drowning in it. It's like being in the ocean, and you pop your head up for a breath every now and again, and you go back under the water. But gradually, it will get better. The important thing is after you've reacted in your daily life, there's a gap. After that comes out of that reaction, sit in that gap and notice, how do I feel after that? Well, I notice that trust in myself has gone down. Yeah, I'm a bit critical of myself for having reacted in that way. And also I feel unpleasant and usually a bit more isolated within this. Notice what that feels like. Notice that lowering of trust. Feeling this at the end teaches the mind, that behavior there leads to this. If we don't address that, then our mind goes, I feel like this because of what they did. That's what it does, doesn't it? It blames everyone and everything else. If only they would change their behavior, then I would feel wonderful. That's what my mind is doing for a long time. But when we reflect on that, we're mindful of it. If it's smoking cigarettes, smoke as many cigarettes as you want, but do it with clear comprehension of the whole process, including the ritual of unwrapping the packet. Hope I'm not making you feel like having a cigarette now. Yeah. But do it with clear comprehension and it will be absolutely disgusting. That's all you have to do. So we allow the mind to see what it feels like after following certain patterns, certain behaviors. And then we let it go. Take some gentle breaths and we soften, relax into our body, just like we did at the beginning, relaxing into our body, further in, smiling with the eyes, joy, present. That feels nice. And in this way, we reward our mind for letting go. You'll start to notice through this, patterns of behavior will start to change. They get shorter and their peak gets lower. And then gradually you'll find your mind will start to let go. In my classes, students talk about their mind doing that and then that. Because they've trained their mind to let go. The mind grabs and goes, no, don't like the taste of that. Let it go. Oh, yeah. And this starts to become the development of morality towards harmony. As those patterns get weaker, or we start to go through these cycles, as you start to refine in daily life through this, you'll find you'll gradually just sit down and your mind will incline towards samatha. It will naturally incline towards the pleasure of your body, the pleasure of the breathing, the pleasure of letting go. And you start samatha, mindfulness of breathing again, until the clarity increases. The mind sees anicca, impermanence, and anatta. And then suddenly the mind will go, no, had enough of this, let it go, and you'll go into a vipassana mess stage where the mind will actually start to develop aversion towards things, push away. You reward your mind for letting go. Yeah. It lets go faster, the wisdom matures, and then it will go into a sila phase. Now, if anybody's really sharp here, you'll notice that I'm actually cycling through the three groups in the Noble Eightfold Path here. And the mind naturally cycles through them all the time in our meditation. But what I used to do is when I was Mahasi, I used to cling to Vipassana. Yeah. And then I was doing samatha and I was clinging to samatha. Oh no, I've got this mess. That's bad. Get away. I got to get back here. It was this fight. And now I understand if I let go, it naturally circles. And what I see in the minds of meditators in MIDL, because that's who I'm interacting with, is as they're getting closer to Sotapanna, this cycling of these three parts of the Noble Eightfold Path increases in speed until you have all three within your mind at one time. And maybe you have experienced that at times. Have you ever been practicing mindfulness of breathing, so calm, tranquility? Your attention wandered, you noticed it, insight, and then you relaxed and come back to your breathing again? Samatha-based samadhi, vipassana-based insight, morality-based letting go. It's happening all the time. We're actually doing it. We're practicing the Noble Eightfold Path all the time. In small cycles when we're distracted, and in big cycles within the development of insight and letting go within the path. Yeah. As those hindrances start to get weaker, so attraction and aversion, yeah, the dullness, the restlessness, the doubt, they get weaker and weaker. Then you'll start to notice what's weak within you. What's weak within my heart? I'm not quite as loving as I would like to be, or caring or kind, not as grateful, not as generous, have trouble giving things away. When my friend does well and I'm not, I tend to get a bit upset, a bit snappy. Yeah. Notice these wholesome qualities that are weak within you. And you can also address your speech in this as well, in the way that you think, and then intentionally take one of those aspects and you use the same process in daily life. You ground in your body. You observe when these reactions start to close, when your heart starts to, it opens and it closes like that. That's what it feels like. And then what you do is you soften, relax into that, and then follow the intention towards a wholesome quality on purpose while you're softening, relaxing, and find the pleasure, the enjoyment in it. Yeah. Softening increases wholesome qualities and weakens unwholesome qualities. Softening strengthens skillful qualities. So, skillful speech. If my speech was harsh, it wouldn't be that nice, would it? The softness increases the power of the speech. We can't be too soft and gentle. So what you do is you use that same formula of the Noble Eightfold Path and the observing, softening, smiling into it to cultivate everything. And gradually you start to change the patterns within your mind and your heart. Yeah. Anything that's weak in daily life, when you sit down to seated meditation, what do? You intentionally cultivate that aspect. And that aspect's usually aligned with the enlightenment factors. You intentionally cultivate the mindfulness aspect, or the curiosity aspect, or the harmony and effort aspect, or the joy aspect, or the tranquility aspect sequentially, and so on. Yeah. You can intentionally grab one of them and then cultivate that in your seated practice. I'm practicing mindfulness of breathing, but this aspect is what I'm going to approach it through and everything like that. Wonderful. So this is the way I see meditating in daily life. Seated meditation is training for daily life. Daily life is the real meditation. Seated meditation is just practice. You're in the gym. Life will give you tests, yeah, a series of lessons, and it'll give you exams, and you should celebrate exams. And exams when your life gets really difficult, because that's the time of growth and change. So what we do is we do the training for these, and we start to see these cycles unfold. Wonderful. And that's my sharing of meditating in daily life. That's what it looks like, or what's worked for me, really.